Thank you, and it's great to see so many of you here. Because I was afraid that with a topic like this, that perhaps people wouldn't realize. I was just saying to Dr. Sarin, my big worry is everyone takes their body for granted. And Dr. Sarin, I think you've got enough people here who want to know what you have to say about the bodies. Every one of us has one. I only hope it's only one, right? Yeah. And each of us, he begins the book with a wonderful metaphor, which is he compares it to owning a car. The complication is that in the car we own, our body, the original equipment manufacturers, who are our parents, have also contributed their genes and may not have done so in perhaps the best possible way. And the results we've got, we are living with. But his answer is, you can make something of that body. You can actually own your body, fix it, overcome whatever manufacturing defects there might be in this machine of yours, and you can make it into a smooth, purring, and efficient system. And he basically is himself a living embodiment of it. This is a gentleman who is slim and trim and fit and healthy and active and extremely productive, and that, therefore, is the best advertisement. I mean, I'm sure all of us know doctors who are large and fat and overweight and keep telling us to improve our lifestyles, right? This is not Dr. Sarin. So I'm very, very pleased to have Dr. Sarin here. So the first question. This is a literary festival, and there's something very interestingly literary about his book. He's got 21 stories of patients who come to him with specific, and he tells the stories in a very engaging way, but with also the necessary medical details, so you understand what their problem was and what was done to fix them. And the first question that comes to mind is, are these stories all real? Are they fiction? Are they fictionalized? Did you say, I've seen thousands of people, I'm going to create sort of 21 model stories out of them?
So can I ask you the first question, rather than you asking me? Have you ever interviewed a doctor?
No.
So I am the first privileged human being on this planet
A medical
who has
doctor,
been interviewed
absolutely.
by such a genius like Shashi Tharoor.
Oh, you're
Thank
too
you.
kind. Thank you, sir.
And my second question is to the audience. How many of you want to own your body and not go to a doctor? Raise hands. You can raise both hands. All right, sir. So here is a captive audience who all want to own your body. And well, none of these stories is fictitious.
Really?
Each of these patients had taught me how little I knew, gradually. But the names are fictitious.
The names, of course, one needs to disguise for their privacy. But what was interesting is I thought maybe some of the stories were composites, but each story seems to lead very clearly to a specific point.
Yes.
And that's how human beings are, right?
That's how human beings are. And you very rightly captured in the small thing that it is like if you have a car where the handle is bad or the battery is bad, the Ford company will call or Maruti will call and replace. But you can't do that with your body. Actually, you can't choose your mother. Can you choose your mother? If not, you're born with these defects, as you rightly said. So I think all these stories which you have mentioned are actually real stories.
Okay. I'm going to try and take this conversation at a very simple level, because I really want you all to read the book itself. But one thing that Dr. Sarin says early and pretty much throughout is the importance of each of us understanding your body, understanding our own bodies. And that's something which means understanding the body's functions, its systems, and of course being able, therefore, to be sensitive to potential health issues. Can you explain that to everyone, and that too with some perhaps examples of how people need to understand why something needs a checkup and what kind of checkup they need and so on?
In very simple terms, you have cooking classes, you have, like the places you learn how to cook, become a good chef. You learn how to cook, you learn how to eat, but you don't know how much to eat, when to eat, and what not to eat. That all is hearsay. There is very little science in that. And so this book tells you, first of all, the ways of living. I mean, like you are a living embodiment, how you live, you are energized. So one of the things is this. And second, when to get a checkup. You all have slight noise in your car, and you will say, call up. get it fixed. I don't want a car. I don't want my bike like the one which is making noise. But for your body, you are not bothered. So the book tells you about first invest in yourself rather than, you have a mobile. You live on mobile. How many of you are using at least an hour on mobile? All of you.
Much more, I'm sure.
And how much time you give for yourself? Can you give 1 hour for yourself? Do you have 1 hour for yourself? And how much? So this is the book's first lifeline, slim and fit. And if you're not slim and fit, invest in yourself rather than investing your time into others. This is one message which I would like to. Do you like it?
I've set an example by reading the book, and here I am because I do feel that over the years I let myself go, and now it's time to pick up the threads again. A second thing which I think, learned the hard way, and that many of us are perhaps fully yet to learn, that Dr. Sarin does talk about is the importance of healthy eating habits. Now, we all hear wisdom and pablum about balanced and nutritious diets, but tell us about the connection between food and illness and disease, and how people, give us some common advice that people are listening here as to what people should be doing about that.
All right. So first of all, let me give you some examples. How many of you would you buy milk which has water in it? Will you buy milk with water?
Not if you knew.
You will only say, ये दूध वाले ने गलत दूध दिया, ये पानी मिलाता है दूध में, वो दूध नहीं लेना. Is it right or wrong? So why would you like to adulterate the original juices made by your body with water? So when you eat, one of the most important things is don't dilute your gastric or intestinal juices by pouring in water or orange juice or something. Keep a gap so your original juices are powerful enough to digest. And this used to be in centuries old India also. The second part of eating is do not start. The lunch is over, so I can tell you, do not take a full plate, take a dessert plate. So your intake is reduced by half. So if you keep your stomach half full, then it is good. But people come to Jaipur Lit Fest and they will keep eating. They will keep eating. I don't deny that. But remember, your liver is a chartered accountant. It will fix you. It will always tax you. So next 2 days, phaka marna hai. So remember, if you eat going to a party or going to a wedding tonight, I know, eat enough. But in Parliament tomorrow, the third rule is what to eat. So one is what to eat and one is how much to eat. So I've told you about. Now what to eat is also part of it because that is what you get the best quality of petrol for your car, best diesel. But do you get the best food for you? But do you know what is the best food for you? So this book, very honestly, is filled up of absolute latest science and it tells you these are the benefits. Like millets, people think it is the country's thing, but millets are low glycemic. Do you take potato?
Yes, sir.
How many of you take potato? Oh. So I can't say anything. Majority is against me.
But there are 300 ways of cooking the potato. How can you avoid potato in our country?
But eating potato is like eating red meat. It has all those. What you eat is not what you have eaten. It is your bacteria. So what you have in your tummy is a kilogram and a half of bacteria, which sensitize, which process your food. So potato is like, it changes the bacteria the way the red meat is. Or you get good bacteria when you have natural food, uncooked food. Nobody likes uncooked food. They say, yeah, salad hai, ganda pani hoga, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. But still the benefits are amazing. You take salads?
Yes, sir. That's a fairly recent change.
So,
but yeah. I have one meal of salad a day.
And the third part about eating just coming is when to eat. Many of you practice the new fad of intermittent fasting. Do you? Please avoid. Just have simple dinacharya. That is time restricted eating. सूर्योदय के बाद नहीं, सूर्योदय से पहले नहीं. Before sunset and after sunrise is a good time, and that is 12 to 14 hours or so. But time restricted may have more problems for your heart, and you don't want your heart to fail. So, best is time restricted. So, about food, I have told you everything: amount, food, and what to eat.
But there's a bit of bad news for all the writers in the room. He doesn't want us to have alcohol. Tell us why.
But Jaipur, nobody drinks, I'm telling you.
Sir, you haven't been to the right places in the
I'm
festival. There is a bar which is open to the writers, and I assure you that it runs dry by every evening.
Well, I will not like to comment on drinking because this is a public issue and many people may just like my neck to be slaughtered, but because they all make
I
money.
don't know, one of the sponsors is an alcohol company, but he's on stage, so he gets to speak.
All the governments make money, but can tell you the amount of money you spend on treating people with alcohol and liver or other problems is 3 times more.
But wasn't it true that at one time it was being said that 1 drink a day is actually good for your arteries? Dilates your arteries? Seriously.
It's a lot of colonialism, lot of things which you have got. You have got it from the US. I know you are a scholar par excellence. You have studied in the US or in the...
Bas, you already condemned me.
I know their drinking is important to charge your mind, but Indians do differently, and I'm sure all of you will do differently.
So your view is not even 1 drink a day?
No, on your birthday.
Achha.
On your wife's birthday, if you have one. If you have 2 wives.
No.
Or 2 husbands.
There. So you got the limits for the year. How about Holi? How about Christmas? How about Diwali? Multiplied by a few. No, take it.
Holi,
But you know,
can...
the thing is, these are prohibitions which, I mean, the doctor does explain the effect it has on your liver in particular. And perhaps in a sentence or two, you might give the bad news to the audience. Why do you not want them to have alcohol?
Yeah. The alcohol actually is something which if you take the good old tradition, कि साहब वो लड़ाई के बाद में आते थे, soldiers लेते थे, that alcohol was 4% of the total. You take 100 ml.
देते थे?
हाँ, उस ज़माने में लड़ाई के बाद आए, they used to make from the home, made distilled alcohol. That was 4%, 6%. Now the alcohol is 40%. So if you take, whiskey or so, 100 ml, you have 40 grams of alcohol. So today, the Surgeon General of America on 6th of June this year has declared alcohol as a carcinogen for public health. Like, you have everything written on the labels, so now it will be written on the labels. I'm not trying to dampen your spirit, but remember, you can have good spirits without alcohol also. Just read about, listen to, I heard him in the morning in that Hinduism. It's like having 10 bottles, I have never drunk but have 10 bottles of alcohol. You are amazing.
Thank you, sir. All right, now comes the other piece of bad news. No alternative to exercise, and that to regular exercise. You talk about the benefits of regular physical exercise and maintaining fitness and maintaining overall well-being. Now tell me, I've met people who tell me, my grandmother lived till 99 and she never did a stroke of exercise in her life. Why is it that some people are able to get away with it and some of us are not?
Well, those who used to live long, now they are very few, I must say. But the concept is, do you all want to live 100 years and healthy? Raise hands. 100 years and healthy. You're not raising. 100 years and healthy. That twinkle in his eyes means that he wants to live 200 years.
No, the twinkle is somebody goes to Dr. Sarin and says, I want to live to be 100. And Dr. Sarin says, don't eat this, don't eat potatoes, don't drink alcohol, don't exercise every day. Then the guy says, I no longer want to live to be 100.
But of course, you will still enjoy drinks and you will still enjoy your life. But exercise has three benefits.
Please.
First benefit is, what is exercise? Means you at least must sweat. People say, sir, मैं 5 मील घूमता हूँ. But do you sweat? Exercise starts once you are sweating. Other than that is all warm up. Please remember it. And you require 30 minutes of exercise. It's very boring. It's not enjoyable. Please don't use iPod, pads or whatever iPods in your ear. Just concentrate that your body, you have committed to 1 hour for yourself. Please commit it. So why do you need it? Is because once you exercise a little bit, your legs will create that energy. The muscles use all your sugar, which the liver would otherwise have to handle. The simple science is, and let me explain the basis of all metabolic ill health. First, when you eat something and your liver can handle it, if it is extra, it goes to the liver and gets deposited. Your sugar, your colas, and all that gear. Once the liver has about 10% fat, nothing goes in. The insulin cannot go in, so it makes more and more insulin by pancreas. Your sugar is not controlled by your pancreas. The sugar is controlled by liver. So more insulin comes and your diabetes develops. Then you have fat in the liver which comes into the blood. Do you all get once a year or once in 2 years your health checkup? Please raise hands. You do. And is anyone with high cholesterol or triglyceride here? High cholesterol, lipids? Please raise hands. So many. So if you have high cholesterol, it has come from liver. So you just go, get your cholesterol, get a prescription. That's it. But no, find out the cause. So the second part is, if you are having a liver fat, it will cause blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and all cancers. Whether it is breast cancer, prostate cancers, food pipe cancer, colon cancer. So why I'm telling you, exercise mitigates the risk of cancer. Your muscles produce hormones which go and regenerate, repair your bad genes. So exercise doesn't mean just sweating and building muscles. Many people pump in all these proteins. No. All these extra things, no. Just make your muscles work to prevent cancers. And the average age of Indians or the world over should be 170 years, average age.
My God.
This is, if you exercise, this is called death of aging, and you have 100 years more at least to contribute, maybe 105 years more to contribute to India. Isn't that? Please give him a round of applause.
You will definitely.
Shashi Tharoor at 165 is as active, but you have to exercise.
Yes, sir. You're right. I hear you. But tell me, you mentioned sweating. Is that because that pushes the toxins out of your body, or why?
Of course.
That's
it is the level that your heart rate has gone up, so you have made your heart strong. लोग कहते हैं सर रात को बड़ा टेंशन हो जाती है, वो टेंशन में खाए जाते हैं. That is not good. But what you need is, if you are under stress, just go on and do little skipping, little exercise, sit-ups, and your stress will go away.
Hear that, everyone. But there's one more thing which personally I found extremely difficult for reasons that I won't discuss in public, but nonetheless, and that is Dr. Sarin keeps emphasizing the importance of sleep. That adequate sleep is actually crucial, and that your overall health actually depends on your ability to get some sleep. Tell us why, and what are the tips you would give people? Whether they work for me or not is a different conversation, which I'll have with them privately. But I'm curious. I don't know. Do all of you sleep very well? Everyone gets 7-8 hours a night? No. Okay. So, doctor, tell us.
So why do you say you don't agree with me for sleep?
I didn't say I don't agree with you. I say I find it difficult.
You mean you sleep less than 7 hours?
I don't manage more than 3 or 4 a night.
So you need a restorative sleep. Sleep is a mechanism by which all your brain proteins are filed up. You know, you need a filing system in your body, like a computer. So your hard disk must get repaired and fresh in the morning. A restorative sleep is so important. Just to give you an example, if you are sleeping 15 minutes less, you will gain weight.
Less than what? What's the optimum number?
Let's say 7 hours
7
is a good average restorative sleep. Now, how to get good sleep is our second question. First, there is no confusion. A good restorative sleep repairs your body and hard disk is clean. How to get good sleep is very easy. If you stop reading at late at night, and I know you read because I made you read yesterday part of the book in the car.
And before I went to sleep.
So if you use blue light, the blue light makes your hormone called melatonin, which everyone takes. So melatonin levels are delayed. So once you have blue light, melatonin secretion starts 2 hours later.
You can't compensate with a pill of melatonin?
Well, the reason is own your body, don't take pills. The
We'll
whole
come to
idea,
that. That's the main message at the end.
whole idea is you must do workout or whatever in the evening or in the morning. If you do workout, you produce your own morphine. And your morphine in the body makes you cool, composed for the whole day. I want you to try, every one of you to try. These endorphins are good. And for sleeping, do not take pills, but yes, early dinner, as I said, if possible. And to avoid reading late. You can start at 4 in the morning, that's not bad, but sleeping late, there is a Nobel Prize in 2017 for what is known as clock genes. So clock gene, there are 3 physiologists who gave this clock gene. So when you eat, your bacteria, especially the liver clock gene, send a signal there. भाई अभी machine चल रही है, अभी नहीं सो सकते. Your sleep, even if you sleep, is not a good sleep. So try not to eat late because your genes will continue to work. And second is what India always has practiced to get early, and that Brahma Muhurat, if it is possible. I know Keralites get early morning and they do all the pujas there, I'm sure, except you.
No, I'm very devout.
But to get back to the sleeping is extremely important, and a good sleep. दुनिया में 2.5 सुख हैं, 2.5 things in life. First is a nirogi kaya, a healthy body. Second is a good night's sleep. And the third, the total half good thing in life is rest of the world. If you have a good sleep, fantastic. If you have a healthy body, you are the richest man. Remaining world is half. Do you agree?
My word.
No.
Then I'm not doing very well, but I'll try and get there.
I'm trying to convince my very respected dear friend to, if he agrees, the world agrees.
No, I agree. I'm here to advocate this approach. I'm just saying that not all of us have it, and not all of us know how to do it, which is why the book is worth reading. So one more thing that he tells us about is about managing stress. Managing stress effectively in order to promote both physical and mental health. And you offer some strategies, right, for how to reduce stress. Can you give us an example, perhaps, for the audience? I will come to you for your questions, don't worry. I'm just taking you through the main lessons of the book. Yeah.
Can I say share?
Why not?
Share. You will accept?
Ji, why not?
All right. कह रहा है दरियाए शोर से, कह रहा है दरियाए शोर से समंदर का सकूत. To the river which is making noise, the sea which is silent and quiet, क्या कह रहा है? कह रहा है दरियाए शोर से समंदर का सकूत, जितना जिसका ज़र्फ है, डेप्थ, जितना जिसका ज़र्फ है, वो उतना ही खामोश. Why I'm saying, your heart makes...
Still waters run deep would be the English equivalent. Anyway.
The heart makes lub-dub, lub-dub. Everyone, girls, boys, everyone, they know heartbeat. But nobody knows about liver beats. The liver is the only organ which makes you de-stressed. Heart gives you stress. The liver de-stresses you. If you have a sound, healthy sleep, and the ways of de-stressing yourself are easy. They are not there. One of the easy ones which you all can practice from today, just while you are in the car, while you are sitting here, just take a deep breath and hold it, and 30 seconds or so, and keep watching. Can you do it 35 seconds, 36 seconds, 40 seconds? And you de-stress. There are 2 types of nervous systems, and it is given in the book very well. One is sympathetic, fight, flight, fear. सामने से कोई आ गया तो डर लग गया, गाड़ी आ गई, शेर आ गया. And the other is parasympathetic, which cools you, which yoga gives. So the moment you take deep breath, pranayam, which is very good, and hold your breath for some time, half your worries, de-stress is over. And the second thing is, do not eat when you feel you are under stress. I can give you a small example. When I was at Yale, long back, 88, so I had to do some statistical work. And there was a guy who was a statistician. I went to him, and he said, let's start working. So we started from 4 p.m. in the afternoon till 12. Then he said, let's go to the Yale computer room and get a printout. We got a printout. It was 2:30. And I said, let's have a coffee, Larry. He was 67-year-old Jewish guy. And I was a young worker. And he says, no coffee. I said, why? I said, I'm a bit tired. Let's have a coffee. And this is the message. He says, if you're tired, go for a walk. Coffee is for the taste of it. It's not to de-stress yourself. And I've learnt it. You wanted some example? One more example I'll give you.
Yeah.
So I joined All India Institute, and it was my third day as a resident. And I was taking the elevator to go to the 7th floor to Dr. Bhatia's ward. And here comes a stout, baldish man. And he said, तुम नए आए हो यहाँ पे? मैंने कहा, हाँ सर. कहाँ जाना है? 7th floor. मेरे साथ चलो. So we walked up the 7th floor. He deposited me in the ward. And then he says, अगली बार तुमने लिफ्ट ली तो तुम्हारे टांग तोड़ दूंगा. Lift is for patients, elevator is for patients. Doctors के लिए सीढ़ियाँ हैं. And he was the head of the medicine department. So that's how the life changed for me. He was Professor MMS Ahuja, the best endocrine guy. So remember next time, my friends, lift is for patients.
And CDR for if you don't want to become a patient.
And CDI if you want to become a patient. Thank you.
No, that's very, very important. I must say, one of the amazing things about this book is that he has a chapter on how to avoid medication. Have you ever heard of a doctor telling you don't take medicines? And now this, I must admit, for me is counterintuitive because every doctor I've ever met, their solution to your problems, whatever the symptoms are, is to throw a medicine at it. Now tell us, first of all, how you came to this conviction that avoiding medication is important. But secondly, what you say to people saying, but I've been given, I myself have a prescription that's about 20 items long, so that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's a very important thing, and I'm thankful you raised this point. Most people, slight headache, running nose, little loosey, and they will pick up a pill or so, whether doctor has said or not, which is not correct. Isn't your body strong enough to handle it? Have you tried your body? Have you actually tried? And I'll give you an example of a very famous photographer before, and that's how it started. It was Raghu Rai. Raghu,
old friend of mine.
Yeah, about in mid-80s, this guy had 105 fever. And he called me, Doc, can you come and just help me? And I went and saw him. He was 105 fever. And I thought, let him have some paracetamol. He says, I'll try myself and I'll use my mental power. And sure enough, in the morning, his fever was down. It doesn't happen every time. But what I'm telling you, if you are strong mentally, you can avoid medication. Use it only if it is extremely needed. And why, as a doctor, I am telling you, I want you to make your body strong enough and not take pills unless necessary. For those who have blood pressure, those who have diabetes, yes, certainly. But you can avoid if you read this book carefully, because diabetes follows 15 years after fatty liver. The heart disease, 15 to 20 years after heart disease. So today, do you want to have diabetes? No. But if you have diabetes, you can reverse it. For those specified medical diseases, you actually need medications. But my message is that it is the fourth lifeline. वो होता है कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? अमिताभ बच्चन. The first lifeline is slim and fit. Second is what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat. And third, of course, is the restorative sleep. And the fourth last line, if you have failed all three, is medication. My job is to just tell you, own your body. Don't outsource to doctors.
Fantastic. Now that's on medicines, which obviously are introducing chemicals into your body and so on. What about supplements? Are you in favor of supplements? vitamins, God knows, C,
How many of
D,
you
B12.
take supplements? Raise hands, please. What an important question. So all of you are poor people. You require government subsidy. Next time you take supplement, it is a subsidy. It's an extra thing you need. If you have good food, how many of you read about what are the benefits of natural food? If you read about it, you will not need any of these supplements. Yes, pregnancy, yes, elderly people, or those who have some difficulties should have supplements. Otherwise, please supplement your natural food with things which your body requires. Please read about that, and if you want some help, the book can give you some. Yeah, thank you.
Here's a very good book. I'm going to wrap this up with one last question, then we'll take it up from all of you because there's lots of you here. I suspect there'll be a lot of questions you'd like to ask. I'm assuming we have a mic for the audience, everyone, to come with questions. Okay. So the last question that I wanted, and there are lots of themes I haven't addressed. I had a long list of issues from the book I wanted to raise. Managing stress, preventive healthcare, that is that don't go around focusing on curing the problem, try and prevent it from happening, and that's going to be my final thrust. How to manage chronic conditions, how to age healthily, and of course, be aware of challenges in mental health. But let me come to preventive healthcare as the final question before we take your questions. Doc, the fact is that everyone knows that prevention is better than cure. That's a cliche in the English language, right? But the truth is that very often, the clues as to how to prevent an illness that you don't know you have or are about to get means that you don't prevent it. And then suddenly you discover you have some symptom. Your very first story in the book is about a young man at 26 who, without having ever been ill, turns out to have a very fatty liver and all sorts of complications arising from it. So tell us, give us some tips. How do we conduct preventive healthcare?
Yeah, very important question. And you said everyone knows, but I can tell you 9 out of 10 do not know preventive health. Let me start that the new science and which is covered here is that don't feed the baby in the first month in the night too often. Delay the feeding of the baby slowly from 3 hours or maybe 4 hours. It will prevent. Do not give the juices to the baby between first month to 6 month fruit juices. If you give the baby first month this juice or this juice, by 5 years the baby will get fatty liver. So remember all these tips. So the prevention starts right from birth and even prenatal. And then how much time do you spend in the school? You know, father मेरा बड़ा वो है politician है, तो बच्चों को छुट्टी मिल जाती है PT से. In our time, PT or exercise was compulsory, but now the kids don't even go for exercise. So the second lesson is the integration of the exercise with food should be ingrained, so first 10 years. Now comes to those like 26 years, this is a true story of an IITian whose mother was there also as a professor, and this boy never knew when he was going to Harvard, he actually got a disease done. To all of you, prevention means just be aware what you should do. कौन से highway पे जाना है, कौन सी road पे जाना है. Just read about yourself, invest. And those who already have disease can do. Just 2 more messages in health. Remember about your waist. The waist is the biggest culprit. Indians, sir, 20-year-old, lean and thin, but he got blood pressure. So your waist should be 80 centimeters for a female. I know most ladies here have 80 centimeters. I'm sure of it. I see Anupama sitting here. She has a waist 80 centimeter or less. And males, less than 90 centimeter is the waist. If you achieve this, you are by and large quite healthy at a young age. And if you have these black spots on your neck, the page 71, if you can show that, because this is one of the most important messages I want to give, preventive health. Are you a manufacturing defect? You can find out with this figure, if you can focus on this for people to see. If you have these black
velvety
lines,
line around the neck, it's
black
suggestive
lines
of
on the neck,
metabolic
or
syndrome.
you have some massage there, and you are born with defects for your metabolic ill health. You should know that. लोग कहते हैं पानी पीता है घी की तरह लगता है. And these are the people who even if it little this, then they have disease. So all those must prevent themselves because they are predisposed. मतलब खानदानी विरासत में. And the last important part of this is page 291 or 290, where I have mentioned 10 commandments. And I want this from my heart for you to see and read. हम लोग, what we do is, my father was rich. So I got a house, I got a car, I got maybe $2 million or whatever it is. But have you ever asked, my father had BP, my mother has sugar, what will I get? So make a family tree of illnesses. Father, mother, grandfather, your wives. So what you are is because of your parents. What your wife is because of your parents. So now both of you, what will you transmit to the child is depending on your grandchild. So remember, have a gene patri, family virasat, rather than just the money that you get. Do you agree with it?
I see the point of it. It's too late for me, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, too late for you, but for your grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
No, I do constantly keep telling my kids to be conscious of these things. So I'm, you know, sometimes one learns lessons in life a bit late, but it's always worth learning. So I really want to recommend this marvelous book, Own Your Body by Dr. Shiv Sarin. And let me now take questions from the audience. So the first hand I saw is the lady right there standing up now. Give her a mic. The mic is coming from this side, ma'am. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I won't take much time. What's your take on calorie deficit? Because that's also a fad thing these days.
Yes. Absolutely. Calorie deficit or low-calorie diets are very good. No doubt.
There's a lady here on this side. We'll hop sides just to make sure that everyone gets a fair chance. Yeah.
I see one of the youngest man, Shri
Okay.
D.R. Mehta. It's
Okay.
90. The Jaipur foot. The whole
Wonderful.
country is
Let's
proud of
hear
D.R.
from you,
Mehta,
sir.
sir.
After this, we'll come to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, sir, I am an engineering student, and the only option we have is the mess food, and we assume that's not very much healthy for us. So what can we do?
You make your mess as a green kitchen. All the students should go and see, this is what we want. And you will get it. And you will start a trend in the country.
Okay. The gentleman, Mr. D.R. Mehta, would you like to say something, sir? Yeah. Just give the mic there, if you will, to the gentleman standing.
This is
Yeah.
D.R. Mehta, the Jaipur foot. He's
The man who invented the Jaipur foot,
Yes.
which is one of my first acts as an MP for the first time in my life was to provide a Jaipur foot to a girl who was run over by a train.
I invited you, please come.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sarin is an expert of liver
Yeah.
and general health.
Though this book is about the entire body, not only the liver. But he sees the liver as the most important part of the body. Life depends on the liver. You can take it in both senses.
I read his book from cover to cover. It's a life-changing book. And if one follows it, of course I don't accept that. I don't eat before sunset. I eat at 9 and take milk and haldi at 10.
Yes.
Is it wrong?
No, it's not wrong, sir. I think if it
Milk
is your
and haldi
habit.
at 10, many people do. My mother does it too. So
Yeah,
you must.
this is an old tradition, milk and haldi at 9 o'clock. This has been old tradition, but my knowledge on that is limited. I have to read about it, I must admit.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many hands going up. I think those of you who have mics, give one each. And then we'll just, whoever has the mic can ask.
So my question to you is that at times females get very extreme menstrual cramps that we are forced to take some medications which are not good for health. So what can we do like as a substitute for that?
Well, that is something where medicines are required, but for a short period. But if you de-stress yourself, and polycystic ovary in females is a very common cause of painful menstruation. If somebody has cyst in the ovary, read this book. There is a story of a young girl. But yes, extreme pain, you can take it.
Okay, at the back, sir. Yeah.
Doctor Saab, There's a YouTube video going around which recommends jackfruit powder for dealing with fatty liver and preventing diabetes. Is there any? Is it factual or is it just not really needed?
It's not by me.
I've actually tried it, sir. It didn't work for me. When I asked the doctor who recommended it, he said that, well, 1 out of 100 patients, it doesn't work. Sorry, you're the one. Yeah. So, who knows?
Good afternoon, sir.
Welcome
to Jaipur. I'm Tilak, doctor in the making. My question is for Tharoor, sir. Sir, since you mentioned that you managed to get only 3-4 hours of sleep, has that played any role in making you more productive, since less hours of sleep mean more hours of work?
No, to be very honest, it is a challenge, and it's becoming worse over the years, and I'm going to... Dr. Sarin doesn't realize there's no such thing as a free book release. He's going to get me, he's going to have to tell me about my questions. But you know, Prime Minister Modi has publicly announced he only gets 5 hours of sleep a night. Yeah. So the question is, there are people who seem to do very little. Salvador Dali, the famous artist, he would sleep for 5 seconds 10 times a day. That's it. Or 12 times a day. So 1 minute was all he got. And he claimed he lived till his 80s. So anything is possible. There may be different people, but I think what Dr. Sarin is saying, for the mass of humanity, they need 7 hours sleep. Yeah,
sir,
yes, gentlemen.
my question.
Here's a mic. Go ahead.
Hello. Dr. Sarin, nice to hear your saying about own your body. I want to ask you one basic question, which everybody will agree with us. You talk about a lot of own your body. What about the food we are eating? Almost all the food is adulterated. Milk is adulterated, water is adulterated, vegetables are adulterated. How to avoid this one? Are you working with the government to eliminate all these deficiencies?
I have my ears to the government.
Yeah. So you should do something. Movement will come with you.
You start a movement.
Yeah,
what people want, they get it. What government they want, they get it. What food you want, you will get it. But start a movement.
Excellent.
Don't accept adulteration. This is my urge. I agree with you. But people have to raise voice.
Sir, my question is
whoever's got the mic, go ahead.
Sir, I want to know that you had just told that we should take dinner by sunset or 1 hour, 2 hours later. But due to today's corporate expectations and we are coming home back at later hour, what are you
I never say don't work after dinner, but have your dinner early. You work the whole night. You make money, you become the president of a company, but have a habit of eating early and then do whatever you like. But don't eat while you're working late.
This one. Front row. Yeah.
I see Vidhu Vinod drinking something. Vidhu.
Excuse me, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
My question is to the doctor, not to the author. Sir, we've been seeing the youngsters exercising a lot. So excessive exercising, is it dangerous? Because we've been observing a lot of heart attacks and all. So my question...
Very important. This is a question which I am happy you raised. So I want to share in the very 5 seconds. So I saw a child when he was 13. And I told him never to put on weight. He is a London Olympic runner, marathon runner. He came to me when he's 30. And I said, why did I ask you not to put on weight? Anyway, his father had diabetes, mother had gallbladder surgery and had blood pressure. Now, he is a product of 2 people. And he was like this, but he was running. I said, let's get your cholesterol. And his cholesterol was 198. So these children who are doing excessive exercise may have cardiac problems and others. They must get the health checkup also done before they go on and see if their parents have something. The parents have to be responsible for the child's health. But let them exercise, not excessive, but exercise.
All right, we have time for just 2 last questions. Who has the mic at the back there?
Sir.
And you'll get the last question, ma'am. Who has the mic there? Who is saying sir in the mic?
Sir.
Say it. If you've got the mic, say it.
Yeah. Sir, what is the prognosis of a chronic HBV carrier who is currently maintaining viral load of 0 and there is no liver fibrosis?
We'll discuss afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds like a consultation. We'll love to do that on the side. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Dr. Sarin, I'm Harsha from NDTV, and right now there's a lot of jargon being thrown at us through Instagram. So people say, don't eat ghee, don't eat this kind of an oil, don't do that. There's also people who are advocating that we don't eat fat. And there's also someone who asked me to ask you, what is SGPT?
But what is Instagram?
That's...
Is that the way you learn science? Is that the way you make your living? Is that the way you do your health? Please stop it. First thing. Instagram is for, I don't have an account, but don't use it for health. Second, SGPT is more important than your hemoglobin. SGPT is a test of blood. If it is 10, 15, 20, it is good. If your SGPT is 80,
above 40, no? Anything above 40 is not good.
40 is the used to be, but now 30 is the limit, and I would say 20 should be the limit. If you have 80 or 50, you are high risk of heart disease, high risk of cancers, high risk of diabetes. So please get this 20 rupees blood test, SGPT, which is the marker of liver inflammation. If you have fat in the liver, SGPT goes up. If you drink, if you have colas, SGPT goes up. If you are obese, it goes up. So it's a single marker of liver injury. You promise all of you to get your SGPT done? All right.
And doctor's book also explains that nowadays most of the modern testers will call it ALT and not SGPT.
Yeah, oh God.
And
You're a genius.
SGOT is now ALS. You see, I read carefully, doctor.
Yes, you read.
But what is SGOT while you're answering SGPT?
Yeah, SGOT and SGPT. SGOT is also, you asked SGOT? Yeah, SGOT is a marker for cardiac injuries and cellular injuries. SGPT is a marker of inflammation of the liver. And please, all of you get it done. More important than hemoglobin. Try to keep it. All those, how many of you want to live 100 years? Raise hands. One more time. And 200 years, raise hands. Many people. Keep your SGPT around 10 to 15 and you will have at least a healthy liver. Please listen to your body. Don't outsource it to doctors. Don't go to doctors. Till 40, nobody.
The clock in front of us ran out 5 minutes ago. We've really pushed it very far. I'm sorry, we will have to wrap up now, but I do want to encourage you, all the questions you're dying to ask, all the 25 hands that are still up, read the book. You might get the answer in it. Thank you, Dr. Shiv Sarin. It's been delightful and very instructive. Own your body. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a great
Thank you.
honor.
Thank you so much.